So I want to show you how can you easily transfer this type of real-time hair for your character. And let me bring the character I have here. So this is how he looks. I exported an alembic from Maya. I just baked it, and let's just subdivide it. Then I need to delete a couple of polygons, and this can be done in any software. I'm using Cinema 4D because it's easier for me. Because most of those characters have inner part of the mouth. Maybe it's visible from here. So basically that part here. Maybe if I delete, let me delete that bottom part. Yeah, you can see. So we need to get rid of everything that we don't need for the transferring of the hair. So because I'm gonna wrap that hair in wrap 4, I just don't want to mess around with that inner part, and it will just cause some problems. So also this guy has some eyebrows, and wrap 4D doesn't like meshes that are made of several meshes, so you need to delete everything that is not part of that mesh. Like he has these small eyelashes here also that needs to be deleted. So if I select the head only like this and move it, there should be nothing here. So it's ready to transfer. I will subdivide it and bake that subdivision, and now let's bring the hair. There's FBX base head and hair. We need to put them both in Cinema 4D. Let's copy the hair here. Let's copy both of those and copy them here. So they're quite small. So let me first get out of that part here. So you can see the head is here and it's kind of super small. So I will attach and make the hair a child object of the head, the base head that we get from 3D Scan Store. And let's just make it bigger. And I guess something like this will work fine. You can try to match it as best as possible. You can also hide the head and leave the hair only to kind of see how probably it's gonna look like. If you want to make it bigger or smaller, I think maybe I can make it a little bit smaller. Yeah. So let's move the hair, and we need to remove that one. And now we need to export OBJs for all the objects for RAV4. So I will delete those, export OBJ, and we call that Marco. This is the name of my character. I will click Ctrl Z to bring back the other things. I will delete those and export the base mesh head. Call it base head. Again, Control Z. And now we need to export the hair. So now we are in RAP4 and we need the head and the base head. So I'm always putting the head that I want to mesh around the other head, or one object meshing around the other, always on the left. And like this is the reference head, our character, and we want that base head to look like this one. And then when we have that head and his points and polygons moved to be as approximately the same position of those here, or approximation of that head with that mesh, then we can move the hair. So I'm always putting it on the left. And now we need to select points to select the appropriate points of both objects. So we are putting that one on the left, that one on the right, and we go to Visual Editor and we can sync views. And now we need to find appropriate points so that head can know where the ears are, where the nose is, or something like this. So yeah, I made a mistake with that head. I forgot to delete some parts. So let's go back to Cinema 4D and delete those. So I forgot, like, this mesh have that inner part of the eye that I don't want, and that part of the mouth. So let's delete those. I'm using UL for the loop selection if you are using Cinema 4D, but again you can use any other software, and then UF to fill the selection. Same thing with that eye, UL and UF. And now that head is ready, so let's export and overwrite the base head. I'll click back so I have all of my previous objects in the right spot. Then we just need to go here and reload that base head, and I guess it should be fine, as you can see. So let's start the process of selecting points. One of the first points I'm selecting are the most obvious ones, like this one, and you always need to click here first or click here first, and when you at that point you have a point and a number, and then you go and select here, so those numbers should be the same. Like, that's how it knows the points that needs to be matched. And I will put some here on the nose. Probably you can put one here. Definitely you can put some on the eyes. It's not like an exact science. It's trial and error sometimes. But as more points you give to the thing, the closer it will try to match the appropriate part. But sometimes more points doesn't mean better results or what you need. So about the ear, like you can see, the ear is definitely completely different. So we know that the hair will be somewhere around the ear, so the important parts are where the ear starts and ends. So you can put that here and one point around here, and definitely one behind the ear, and probably you can add some points here. Let's add one for the jaw, and as you can see, I did somewhere a mistake. Like now the numbers are not matching, probably because I'm talking and trying to do something. So I'll just go back and see where exactly I made a mistake. Yeah, I think I forgot that one here. So now the numbers are matching. And let's add again the points here. I'll put some points here and here also. And let's put 1 point somewhere on the chin. And I always look at that part where the ears are, like the loop. So it's somewhere around here and somewhere maybe a little bit like this. And the rest of the head will match, so I don't think we need that. Maybe we can put some on the eyebrows here. And probably that line here for the eyes, because that space between the ear and the eye here is completely different. So we can put one here. Something like this. Again, I'm saying, it's not an exact science. Yeah, I think that should be fine. So we are adding the wrapping modifier. I'm using, by the way, I'm using tab. When I click tab here, and you can type something and find the effect. So we connect first the yellow part, and then again in the same order those things here, and we need to press compute, and now I will see those things, those two heads will wrap around each other. I will pause the video till it's complete. So it's already wrapped and it's looking good. And the other part that I'm doing is adding a brush modifier, a node. So here we need to put the reference. So this is the head that we are matching, and that wrapping part should be linked like this for the geometry and the geometry source, so both of them. And I will use that relax projection. It relaxes a little bit, like you can see the polygons here are messed up, and I'm using relax projection, so it's projecting sorry, projecting the polygons around that head. So Maybe I can use a little bit smaller brush, and as you can see, it's relaxing and projecting the polygons around here way better. So you don't need to spend a lot of time on the ear, just um, the area around it. And we need to go over the entire head so we're sure everything is projected right and it's looking good and it's not doing something completely weird. You don't need to care a lot about that part here. We care only about where the head is. So and you can just brush around till everything is not moving a lot. Yeah, and I think this is fine. Okay, and then you need to click accept. And the last thing, we should be saving the geometry. And we just link that like this and select a place where we want our geometry to be exported. I'll call that head base transferred. And I will just, probably you can save the project, but I'm kind of crazy and I'm risking, so probably that was not a good idea. It didn't save for some reason. Yeah, I forgot to click save, so I need to do a little bit of the process again and accept here. Everything looks fine. Yep, accept. Yeah, and compute current frame. Now I'll first check here. This is here, so now I'll delete. And let's put the transfer head. Let's put the base head and the hair. So then we need a LTIS modifier. And let's see, geometry to deform, that should be the hair. We want to deform the hair to match the new head shape. This is the source deformation, so we put the source, and then lastly target deformation, so this is the new head that we created. And then we go to the LTIS and here put 150 and enter. So now our hair matches the new head. I think there is a way to hide the base head here. Yeah, like this. So you can see now the hair matches our head. I'm not sure about that part here, by the way. Probably this is our old hair, yeah. So this is the new hair, and it matches. Okay, so again we need a save note, and we'll call that one hair transferred. And we can go back to Cinema 4D and let's delete that, and let's bring the hair in here. Again, I forgot to click compute current frame. Hair transferred. So we have the hair now. I'll switch to redshift, and if we put, let's say, put some dome light here, and let's switch to quick shading so you don't see the light, and let's fire up the render view. And let's rotate a little bit the dome light. So now the hair look crappy, so we need to create a new material. Let's delete all of those materials here and create a fresh redshift material. I'll put that to the hair object, and let's go to the folder where is our, this is what I got from 3D Scan Store. So we have textures here, and what they're providing are those here, those textures here, but the hair color and opacity, both of them are in the same place, like the color and also the opacity. And for redshift we need to use sprite mode because it's faster. You can use a texture and put, so let's say you can use the texture here for the opacity and use the opacity color, but this is a slower method, so we need to use a sprite node. And for the sprite node we can't really because let's say let me show you first what I'm talking exactly about. So we have the textures here, and we select the what we get from 3D Scan Store, and we have both core and alpha in the same file, and we need a core splitter to split the core from the alpha channel. So we use the core splitter to split the alpha, and then we can attach the alpha to the opacity core. And let's make our hair black, and let's fire up redshift and see what is going on. So now we have the hair. Let's remove the reflection. So we have the hair, but this method for the hair is kind of slow, and you can see how slow everything works here. Probably the result will be a little bit better, but definitely sprite node will make it work faster. So in order for the sprite node to work, we need the alpha channel extracted as a black and white image. So I used After Effects. Let's fire up After Effects, and I'm putting the target here and add it here as a new composition. And if we turn on the alpha channel, you can see now we see the alpha, but also we have the color, but we need black and white image. So I will just use a fill and make it white, and I will create a new solid and I will make that solid completely black like this. And now that's how I extracted the alpha channel, and then I just save the frame as a file. And now I exported that alpha JPEG. So we can go here, and we can go to the sprite node, and we can select the alpha channel. This, I'm not sure, I think it should be sRGB. And how the sprite node works is we are connecting the material to the sprite node, and then we are connecting it to the output, and we will just remove that part. We don't really need it except for the core. Let's put the core to the diffuse. So now we are using the core and the alpha that we exported, and let's fire up now. As you can see, it works way faster, and it's updating the hair way faster. So the other textures that you can use is the normal and probably the specular. You can play around with them, but definitely the normal. You need to set it to raw. When you have a normal or something like this, it's always need to be set, the core space needs to be set to raw. And we need a bump node. So bump map, we need to change from hide. This is for black and white images, and this is for normal maps. And we are connecting the normal map here to the texture, and then connecting it to the material, overall, and bump input. So now we have a little bit of normal map going on. The hair looks a little bit better. Let's bring up the reflection back. We can make the roughness a little bit more like this, and as you can see, it's super shiny everywhere. And that's why we can use the specular and put it here into the reflection weight. And probably you can play around with the gamma, so we have a little bit more reflection. And you can see now it looks a little bit better. If you want to change the color of the hair, what you can do is create a ramp node and connect that texture that we have to the ramp, and again to the diffuse, and let's select the ramp. Now as you can see, nothing changes. So we can change the black part to be more brown, let's say. Probably something like this, a little bit less redder, and the white part can be a little bit brighter, so something like this. And probably you can add another node here, see what happens. And you can add a crazy core just to see where exactly that part works. Like if we crump them together, where exactly that part works. Let's make that green so it's more visible. So everything is down here. It's very cramped as far as I can tell. Probably we need to do the sRGB here. Kind of can't see the green part exactly. I'm not sure why. Now I can see it. So let's create that part to be bright like this. Let's change that like this. Yes. Now we can change the colors a little bit better. So let's add something like this here. That part can be darker. Maybe move them like this. Yeah, so that way you can make it a little bit more interesting. Let's make that a little bit darker. And then what we can do is use that material, the ramp node, probably to the transmission core, and add a little bit of transmission. If you look from here, now it's a little bit transparent, but I think I didn't connect it properly. It's not to the refraction core. It should be translucent core. Yes, you can see now it's that part here is not transparent, and when we add more of that, you kind of see some transparency going on. And probably what else we can do is add a core correct to that part and connect it only to the translucent core. And let's collapse it, and you can increase the brightness of that same map, so you can see it's more translucent, and this will make the hair look a little bit more realistic. It's not like real hair, but something like this. So yeah, this is how you can create the shader. Let's render it fully to check how it looks. And I think it looks fantastic. So the last part is where we add the hair to the character rig in Maya. So that entire part can be done in Maya or any other software. So let me first find where my rig is. So this is my rig. And I'm missing a bunch of textures, so I'll just skip that part. And let's remove that stupid hair, and we can import the transferred hair. All right. And our transferred hair is here, and we need to add it to the GEO part. So let's move it here. So the last step, because now if we move the head, the hair won't follow, and we need to hair to follow. So you just need to click the hair, click the body, go to deform, and just click wrap and wait a little bit. And now if we move the head, the hair will follow, and also it will bend with the neck and the rest of the controllers that you have here. So let me bring back everything how it was. Let me attach it back again. I went too far. So you can use and create a blink material for the hair. So I just added the blink material, sorry, and you can put the transparency map here. The alpha that we created, and then we need to check the colors. Let's add just a basic Lambert here, so it's not black like this, and then we can change a little bit that blend material. We can add the core. And probably we can change the flat shade, or okay, this is the specular, and we can remove the specular, I guess. Yeah. And you can now see the here kind of real time. So you know how it looks. That here probably is not, because it's not rigged, you can't animate it really. Probably you can use lattices or something else, but otherwise it will follow the head and everything. And now you just can click save to the rig, and you have new hair there. So that's it. I will make after that few renders. I already showed you how to make the material for the hair and how to transfer it. So I'll just make beauty images for the thumbnail in YouTube.